So GitHub issues. I just want to quickly go over what GitHub issues are and specifically how we use them in this class. So you've seen this already, I am sure, right? So what I'm talking about, of course, is when you have your GitHub repo, you click over your issues tab, and here you can create issues. So these issues are basically to-do items, right? And these things, predate GitHub by a long time, right? So people have to-do lists forever, and there's been software to do this kind of stuff forever. So it's just, and right now there's stuff like Jira and Trello, and there are a lot of different products that basically do the same thing. They all have differences in the specific features, but the basic idea is it's a bunch of to-do items. You get to assign things to people, and they do them maybe by a deadline, and then you have some conversations in there too. So that's common to all of them. And basically all big software projects will have something like this where they coordinate, they can call it a bug tracker or a feature tracker or a ticket system, whatever you want to call it. They'll have something like this. And so we're going to be using it in this class, and you can learn how to use it with the team. So why do you want to use this in your team? Like I said, the main function of an issue tracker, that's what I'm going to call it, is coordination. So basically, creating issues, which are things that need to get done. So an issue is something that needs to get done, and assigning it to one person. Say, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. And then, some other ones you don't know yet, maybe, who I'm going to assign it to. And then assigning deadlines to those issues. So you're going to get this done by this deadline. And this, if you do this, you have coordination, which means basically everybody knows what everybody else is doing in the team. This is super important to get the team working as a team. Everybody needs to know what everybody is doing, at a high level, obviously. And when they're going to get it done, and especially because some things depend on some other things, right? So I need you to get this done by here so I can do this other thing after that kind of stuff. So the second reason we use this is for communication. Like GitHub Issues is basically an online chat room. So you can add you can talk about things in there and make comments. And we use that a lot. There's issues. Some of the issues are not things that need to get done. Some of the issues can be like a question. So you can ask me a question. For example, this is one of the ways we use issues is you can create an issue, which is a question, give it a title, ask it, and assign it to me. And now, it's a question for me. I can come back and answer it, and we can have a conversation in there. Everybody in the team can see it, right? So everybody is on the same page about what we're talking about and what gets decided. So that's another reason. Communication. And then finally, project memory. So you probably haven't seen this so much if you haven't worked on a long running project, but most software, goes on for years and years, and you accumulate a lot of knowledge about, what works, what doesn't work, why did we make this decision, why are we using this, why are we doing it this way. All that should be in your issues, right? So as you make decisions about which platform to use, so for example, you can have one that says, create an issue that says, should we use this software library or this software library? Assign it to one person, they go off and do some research, they come back and post, well, this one has these pros and cons, this one has these other pros and cons, and then there's a little discussion that happens on that issue. Eventually the team decides, okay, we're going to go with that, close it, but that stays there forever, right? So issues are forever. As you can see, you can close an issue and it becomes closed, but it's still there. And when you do a search for it, like GitHub Issues has this search, so you can put in any word here and search. The search is not just over titles, but over the full body, the full text, so you can search for anything and bring up what you need. So you can go back in time, do some searches, figure out, oh, this is why we made that decision. Or if you're having a bug, maybe somebody had that same problem before, so you're getting this weird error message, put that error message in here, search for it, and then maybe you see this post from a year ago where these two other people had the same problem and how they solved it. So it's a great for institutional memory, which this project is a 2-semester project, so really by next semester you might have stuff that you go back and will have forgotten. So you can go back and search for, this thing, I think we saw this problem last semester. Let's search it and see. And yeah, indeed, you can find, oh, yes, we did see that problem and this is how we solved it. So you don't have to do all that work again. So I'm just going to quickly go over, how to create an issue. You click New Issue. To create a new issue, you can say, add a login page. A login page, that's the title. It should be clear, succinct, sort of imperative tone. And then you can add more details here about what needs to get done. Maybe, a screenshot if you have like a design document, because you can add and drop images, right? You can add images or movies if you have a little movie. Usually that's for when you're adding a bug report, you will add a movie and you make a little recording of the bug as it's happening and you can put that in there as a movie. So that's it. That's the minimum you need, just a title and some content. You can add it in. Then, most importantly, so you see it gets a number 253. We're going to use that when you write stuff here and you use the hash mark. GitHub will automatically fill that out. So it tells you, it tries to search for previous issues and, tries to fill that out for you. So, and you can see in the preview, this becomes hyperlinked to the actual issue when you post it. So, number is very important. Each one gets a unique number. Also, these are the same numbers as in the pull requests. So pull requests are basically issues. They use the same number systems and they look a lot like, the same. Okay, so you can assign an issue to somebody. Initially, when you create features like this, you will first give it a label like enhancement. So this is just to get organized a little bit. You don't have to use these, but enhancement is when you need to add something to your code. Bugs, we know what those are. And questions, this is a question, like when you're asking me a question, you can use the label question. And you can create more labels if you want. You can assign it to people. Initially, when you create an issue, it will be assigned to nobody because you haven't decided who's going to do it. But at some point, you will assign it to one person and one person only. You should, in general, there should be at most one person assigned to each issue because you know how people are. If you assign it to 2 people, none of them will do it, right? If you assign it to 4 people, nobody will do it. If you assign it to one person, maybe that person will do it. But at least you'll know who's responsible. So assign in general to at most one person. And then a milestone. So each issue can be associated with a milestone. A milestone is a deadline. So you see I have this due video milestone here. And it has a deadline of July 30th. I just created that one. So you can create those here. So if you go click on issues and then click on milestones here, you can just create new milestones. And milestones are deadlines. So in the software, the most common milestone is the release, right? So release 1.0, that's a milestone. So you have a release 1.0 by October 1st, and then you have all these issues. That means, all these features need to be implemented by October 1st so we can do the 1.0 release. And then the 2.0 release is going to be November 1st. And you have all these issues that are going to get done by then, hopefully. If they don't get done, then you move into the next milestone or the next release. So you see in our class, I already have, I'm using the same terminology. So I'm calling our deadlines milestones because they're deadlines. And we have various milestones. Some of these, are actual things that you got to turn in by the date. Most of them are. And so you're going to move these milestones and put those milestones as milestones in your GitHub issues. That's one of the things you have to do. And then associate some of the issues with that. So going back over here. And then the last one is projects. And I'm going to talk about those at the end of the video. So another thing you can do that's pretty cool is and you can edit, obviously, but you can also create sub issues using the syntax. Sub issue 1, do this other thing, and do another one. Do this one too. So I'm gonna update that, and you see when I use that, dash bracket bracket, it turns them into this little checkboxes, and these are nice. You can move these around if you want, and then also you can mark them as done, and you see it'll tell you, you have one of 3 tasks done, right? So it keeps track of those up there. So you have 3 tasks, and as you update these, it keeps track of these, and they're also over here. So it's just a way of breaking, if you have like something that's a lot of little pieces, you can break it up like that and keep track of each one like that. Sometimes what happens is, like this one, say here, becomes like a whole issue. So you can click here, it says convert to issue, you click over that, wait a second, and then that one is now issue number 254, and you see it just does that automatically for you, so you can click over that, and there it is, and keeps track of which one came from which and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So you can do that. And then let's say you write the code, you get this done. So you say it did this, and then you can close it with a comment, and close as completed, which is a typical thing you would do, and then close as not planned. This is the thing you can do if the issue, like it says here, I'm gonna have to reopen that. Reopen it so you can see what it said there. It says, won't fix, can reproduce, duplicate, or stale. So sometimes there's situations where an issue, it's not something you're gonna do. You decided, I'm not gonna do this. You can do that. This is a bug that you cannot reproduce, so it's not really a bug that we're gonna deal with, because if you can't reproduce a bug, you can't fix it. It's a duplicate of another issue, or it's stale, too long. It's been too long. We're not dealing with this. So you can close that as not planned, and it just keeps track of that. You can see as I do all these things, they appear, right? So it's close this, open this. It keeps track of everything I do in the issue, right? So I added the label. I added this to the do video milestone 5 minutes ago. So it keeps track of everything. That's very important. So it keeps track of history. One thing that people forget is that you can change the title. So at any time, and let's say backend support, I can change the title. So if I figured out, well, this was wrong or a little bit wrong, especially with bug reports, somebody submits a bug report, it's not quite right, you figure out more details about it, you might want to change the title to make it clear what it is that you're actually working on. So you can do that. And of course, it keeps track of what we did there. So you see, it added this to that. Now, notifications. This is a very important part. So one of the things that you need to be doing is in your repo here, say this is your repo. When you click over here, you should be watching all activity, right? This should be like that, all activity, because you want to get notified of everything that happens in your repo. The notifications in GitHub are over here. So you can click over there and you can see all the notifications that I have. At this point, there's a little inbox. It's like an email, basically, so this is your email inbox, and you can, check those out, mark them as read, etc. You can also, there's apps, right? So there's a mobile app. GitHub has a mobile app you can download and check your notifications, and it'll send you push notifications. Also, if you go under your settings, if you want to get email notifications, you can set that up too. I don't have that set up because there'll be too many, but I do have the app and it notifies me. And there's also desktop apps you can get that will notify you if you have GitHub notifications, something new comes up. So those are very important. Make sure that you are managing your notifications and you're listening to all those. And then, yeah, you can use at my name to contact me or at instructors to contact me and the TAs. One of the things is speaking about communication, right? The weekly report, which is one of the milestones, is basically an issue that you have to write every week where you say what you're going to be doing. What you did that week. It's in the past, right? So this is a milestone. You can read about it in the milestone itself when you get to that. So yeah, I talked to all these things already. Also change the title. Yeah, reactions are a nice thing. You can use these so you can react to, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So these are usually used for voting. So if you give it a thumbs up, that's a plus vote or minus vote. Or you can use other reactions on anything, just for fun. So those are cool things to use. Close an issue when you're done with it. I don't know, people forget or people don't want to close an issue. Remember, issues never go away. So you close it, it can get reopened. Don't worry about it. So if you feel you've done it, you close it. Mostly because when you close an issue, then other people will get notified that you're done with it, and then they might go in and say and actually check. So closing an issue is a way of notifying people, that I think I'm done. Right. So I think people sometimes feel that closing it is like, I know I am done and don't say anything. No, because we can reopen the issue just one click. So closing it means I think I'm done. Yeah, we can mention issues in other issues and they will appear there. And then task lists. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was Git integration. So let me just show you how this works. I am going to over here. Oh, I already closed that issue. So let's see, number 254. This is an issue with this repo, Sandbox. And I'm going to go to, this is the repo. I'm just going to add some data to the README. I don't care. We're going to add that. And then I'm just going to pretend that fixes number 254, right? So it's some work, you can say this some work for, and that's a bad comment, by the way. You should not use that comment. You should actually specify what work you did in your comment. But what I'm showing you is that you put, hash number 254 and that you push it. You gotta push it up to GitHub. Then you will see it's not there yet because you have to reload the page for this one to happen. But once you reload the page, it disappears here and says, I added a commit that referenced this issue just now. And it has, a link to the actual commit. So again, all these things get added to the issue. So I did this all from Git, as you notice, didn't have to even go into GitHub. I just need to use the magic number 254. And that was it. I can even close an issue. So again, oops, forget, and README, done with it. Close number 254. Boom, and push it. So you see, I wrote close number 254. I push it. When I do that, it does like before, but now it also closes the issue. So I didn't even have to come to GitHub. I could close an issue in GitHub from Git. So with the magic keyword close. So there's a link here to how to use these. You can read that, and then it covers that and some other stuff. So okay, that's the main thing. Main things you need to know about issues. The last thing I wanted to mention was this project. So we talk about this project board. So you can see, we have, I can assign this to a project board. Takes a second. So projects are like Kanban boards. So let me show you what these are. I have the old projects and the new projects, because they have ones with more features. So here's the one I assigned it to, and basically these are, the main idea is you can put the same issues in columns. And so you can have like a to-do column and progress column and done column. You can have any number of columns. You can modify this as you want, and you can move things right between stages, right? This is called a Kanban board, or you've seen this with post-it notes, where you post notes in the board and you move them. You might have like a testing column, like in a big project. They would have testing or quality assurance. So you create a thing and moves through various stages. For this class, this whole thing is probably overkill. You probably don't need it. You definitely don't need it, but you can use it if you want, right? So especially if you have a lot of issues that you're trying to decide which one to do next, it might be useful for that kind of stuff. But yeah, the main thing is you can just move them around, drag and drop, create your own columns, create your own way of organizing the whole flow. Like I said, for this class with small teams of 4 or 5 people, there's the stages of your issues are usually we created it and it's not assigned to anybody. I assign it to everybody, to somebody. That's the second stage, is assigned and they're working on it, and then it's done. There's not many stages. Later on, maybe next semester, there'll be like a testing stage where before you merge it into main, you have to run it through some tests, some automated tests, and that's done by one person in your team. So at that point, you might want to use that. So that's GitHub issues.